Good evening, welcome back to East Midlands Airport and welcome back to the aeropark, streaming from the old air traffic control tower again this evening. That weather not looking great out there, so taking some shelter this Thursday evening. But thank you very much for being with us. First aircraft is making its way down towards us now. We'll start off in this multi-cam view, but there it is right in front of us. Golf Juliet Zulu Hotel and Lima, the registration on that 737-800, and there it goes, just departing on the right hand of the screen there. But a few aircraft making their way into us now, outbound as well it looks like, over there on the apron this evening. Let's take a quick look on the radar. The Ryanair off to Lanzarote is starting up on the remotes. That's just out of view on the main camera. Give you a view there of the apron in front of us as the sunlight just starts to break through the cloud right above us. Some very dark cloud as well this evening. But the Ryanair off to Lanzarote, 737 MAX, Echo India, India, Juliet Kilo, the registration on that aircraft. And the Jet 2 off to Mahon this evening, just in a very far distance there in that jet2.com livery. The Ryanair making its way out in front of us then. This one delivered into Ryanair in January 2024. Well, they're not doing too bad over there towards the west at the minute. A bit more cloud making its way towards us though, especially down towards the southwest. Dark cloud indeed this evening. Yeah, just looking at the clouding over the south of the airfield. I think a bit of rain maybe on its way at some point. But there we go, the main apron control tower there taking the majority of that sunlight as those dark clouds pass overhead this evening. But it's good to have you with us. Thank you very much again for joining us on a Thursday evening from East Midlands. So hopefully that clock is working again this evening. It's like it's telling the right time. Right, let's have a look at those arrivals into East Midlands then. The Lauda A320 wasn't too far away. Let's have a look where that one currently is. Making its way over Northampton, about 15 minutes out for the A320. 14,000 feet, that one is passing down through now. 9 Hotel, Lima and Mike Hotel, the registration on the A320. A little further out as well. 777 in from Delhi this evening. That one is about 30 minutes out. Delta Alpha Lima Lima, the registration on the inbound 777. Closely following behind that, the Ryanair in from Rhodes 737 MAX Echo India Hotel Alpha X-Ray, the registration on the inbound 737. Not too far behind the inbound from Rhodes, the Ryanair in from Vraslav Echo India India Lima Foxtrot, the registration on the inbound there 737 MAX, that one July 2025, first entering into operation with Ryanair, so only a few months old. Chewy here from Kefalonia at 22,000 feet. That one is making its way just overhead Luton now. That one is 737 MAX-8. Tango, Golf Tango Uniform Mike November, the registration on the inbound 737. Yeah, the weather doesn't look great at all this evening, so hopefully you're keeping warm and dry wherever you are. The Ryanair off to Lanzarote, lining up on runway 27 this evening, and that wind is set to be blowing straight at us again this evening. The air traffic control tower here taking the brunt of that wind, but a bit different to where we were Tuesday evening. Temperatures a lot warmer where we are. Get the majority of that light, so warming up very nicely indeed. The Ryanair off to Lanzarote, then making its way down towards us. Good evening to Hazel and Emma. Good to see you both. Thank you very much for joining us. Goes departing away a little early there on the departure away from East Midlands this evening. And it's just at the very top of the screen there. 1,400 feet as it continues to climb away. 150 knots as it continues to ascend into the winds. Hopefully a little more traffic this evening than there was on Tuesday, but we'll keep an eye out for all those arrivals and departures into and outbound from East Midlands this evening. The next aircraft into us is the Lauda A320. The airpark's still open this evening for next 20 minutes or so. The last visitors there making their way out. So look look, see if we can see the Jet 2 then in a very far distance. That one making its way to Mahon this evening. Golf Juliet Zulu Hotel. The registration on 737-800. That one 25 years of age, entering into commercial operation in April 2000. Lauda passing down through 7,500 feet now, about 7 minutes out from us. Weather over to the west quickly closing in on us. Quite dark cloud starting to pass its way overhead. Donington Park there in the distance. Looks like a bit of rain as well on its way, so well sheltered in here this evening, for the time being anyway. Well, there we go, a view across the south of the airfield. A lot of heavy, dense cloud out there. Looks like it's making its way over towards the east, so if you're in the vicinity, maybe a bit of rain making its way down anytime soon. There we go, then all 3 cameras are on board this evening. It's good to have you with us, starting a little bit early this evening to catch those arrivals and departures just before 5 PM. Managing to set up a little earlier as well, so making use of the time and the daylight whilst we've got it, turning a little bit dark on last Thursday's stream, so the majority of that bad weather was with us almost all of Thursday evening. But bringing you back live again from the old air traffic control tower here at the Aeropark. And the Aeropark on the last couple of weeks of their summer schedule seem to be changing over to their winter schedule, open on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you want to grab the last chance to get down to the Aeropark on a Thursday, have a look at their website. I think they've updated their timetable accordingly this week. But if you want any information about the Aeropark itself, have a look at the stream description below. There's a link in there taking you straight to their website. That'll give you all the information about the opening times, prices and the aircraft on static display as well this evening. If you're joining us for the first time, the Nimrod just in view, just at the top of it there, and the various communication antenna protruding from the aircraft, and on the tip of the wing as well, right in front of us there. A lot of that wind being blown straight over the top of that wing, hitting the side of the traffic control tower, making it a little bit bumpy this evening on the ground. And there we go then, back on that multicam view, and that next aircraft isn't too far away from us at all. Making its way north of Leicester now, about 4 minutes out, making its way down through 4,000 feet. And the 777 in from Delhi is about 20 minutes out. 25,000 feet is its current passing altitude. 407 knots is its current speed. And Laura will be with us a little later on, probably in the next 15 minutes or so. She'll be joining in the chat. Thank you very much for sticking with us this evening so far. Good to see everybody. Hope you're all keeping well. The Ryanair in from Rome is about an hour out. That one is over France at the minute, making its way towards Paris. 38,000 feet, the current altitude of that 737 MAX. And the 767 in from Kennedy is about an hour and 35 minutes out. 37,000 feet, its current altitude, as it navigates a bit of weather there over the North Atlantic. as it makes its way down towards Ireland. Looks like that one is going to pass over Northern Ireland down to the northern tip of North Wales and then in towards East Midlands this evening. 777 in from Cincinnati. That one is about 2 hours and 25 minutes away from us. The Lauda, though, on final approach now, just turned onto final approach and making its way down towards us. A320-200 series, this one 13 years of age, January 2012. First entered into service. A relatively calm evening over on the cargo apron. Only a few aircraft over there at the minute. A couple of 767s and the 757 as well. We'll try and get some closer views of that once the 777 makes its way in the next 20 minutes or so. But the Lauda on final approach then over East Leek now. Just a couple of minutes until that one is on the ground with us here at East Midlands. And now, because of the obscured view from within the air traffic control tower, we'll catch up with that aircraft as it starts to vacate from runway 27. See that on the bottom left hand camera there. Flight time then in from Palma, 2 hours and 5 minutes by the time the aircraft arrives with us. And no movement yet on that Jet 2737. Let's have a bit of a close look over there on the apron if we can. Yeah, still on its stand there, the very end aircraft in that Jet2.com livery, waiting to make its way out to Mahon. And the Lauda A320 should be making its way from East Midlands, at about 5:30 this evening. Bit of a delay to the departures, about 30 minutes or so this evening. Fly for off to Palma as well just before 5 PM. We should hopefully see some movement on that aircraft. The aircraft just next to the Jet 2 there, I believe. Hopefully seeing that one push back anytime soon. Estimated departure 10 to 5 this evening. And the Ryanair off to Treviso. 5:05 was the estimated departure time. 5:40 is the revised departure time for that service this evening. The Lauda A320, just had a look at that one, 5:30 is estimated departure time, and the Ryanair off to Berlin, 6:15. Chewy off to Heraklion at 6:40, and the 777 making its way out to Leipzig at 6:55. So look at the arrivals and see how they're faring this evening. Not too bad at all. Majority of those aircraft seem to be on time. About a 10-minute delay or in that region on the arrivals this evening. The Lauda A320 just about to touch down in the distance, and the Ryanair in from Rome. Estimated arrival time on that one just before 10 to 6 this evening. 767 in from Kennedy. That one is due to be with us a little later than scheduled. 10 to 6 was its estimated arrival time. Just after 20 past 6 now is its estimated arrival time into East Midlands. And the RVL in from the Isle of Man at 7 PM. 777 in from Cincinnati just after 10 past 7. And the 777 arriving in from Leipzig. That one is due to arrive with us just after 7:30 this evening. Just after 8 PM, the EPS in from Philadelphia. Should be closely followed by the 777 in from Dubai. So look where that one is currently on the map. 34,000 feet, about 3 hours for that one still to run this evening. making its way over towards Bulgaria at the minute. So look then on the map, whereabouts that A320 is. There it is. Just vacating from runway 27, making its way onto the taxiway this evening. Starting up, belonging to Specsavers Aviation. That one still over on the remote stands at the minute. Mike, Sarah Papa, Echo Lima, the registration on the Beach King Air 350i. Expected to make its way down towards us. Very apt name there, 350i. The Lauda continuing its taxi then towards the main apron this evening. View of the weather to the south of the airfield, looking rather gloomy out there. Maybe a bit of good weather making its way towards us, looking a lot bluer towards the north. Looks like the south is taking the brunt of the weather this evening though. No movement just yet on the Jet 2737 off to Mahon this evening. Neither is the Flyforce 737 there off to Palma. The Lauda making its way onto the apron in the distance. And that next aircraft inbound to East Midlands. The Chewy in from Kefalonia, Golf Tango Uniform Mike. November, the registration on that 737 MAX. 1,200 feet at 145 knots as it continues its descent in towards us. 3 years of age on this airframe, 2022, first entered into operation. Flight time this evening, about 3 hours and 15 minutes by the time it touches down with us here on runway 27. Lauda in the distance continuing to taxi towards its stand. Triple 7 in from Delhi. That one is less than 10 minutes out now. 9,800 feet is the current passing altitude of the 777, 316 knots is its current speed. The Chewy passing over Kegworth. Jet 2 is still pinging away there, although no movement on the aircraft just yet. The Lauda pulling in onto the stand next to it. With the Chewy finally landing in with us in the distance, we should see that one just a minute or so as it vacates runway 27. The cloud over towards the west there as well. Very dense indeed. Let's keep an eye then for that Chewy arriving in with us. Should be making an appearance anytime soon. It's definitely a lot warmer in the control tower this evening, so thank you very much for joining me from within the aero park this evening. Tuesday was a very, very cold evening indeed. That wind really biting through and taking a lot of that heat away. So ventured into the relative warmth and safety of the air traffic control tower this evening as to keep the continuity of the streams. That Chewy should be making its way off of the runway, and there it is indeed. 777, about 5 minutes out then, 5,700 feet is its current passing altitude, 280 knots as it continues its descent in towards us. Now we may not be able to pick out that 777 in the distance there as it passes just above the control tower. In the next couple of minutes that cloud may be obscuring the view ever so slightly though in the distance. We'll keep an eye out. If not, we will see that one roll right past us, hopefully vacating a little further down the runway. There we go, a view of where we are this evening, streaming from grounds of the aeropark again, a little further down from where we usually stream from. Making the most of the shelter available to us at the minute. So I think of these next few weeks, as that weather does turn, I'll be making more and more use of the air traffic control tower. We'll get out on the mound as and when we can. As these nights start to draw in, and that wind over the past few days really has driven in, making it really difficult to be up on the mound, exposed for quite lengthy periods of time. About 4 or 5 hours we're usually up there, so it definitely takes its toll. Let's have a look then at the main apron actually pulling in onto stand. It's like a light aircraft there, not sure if that's a Cirrus making its way out towards the start of 27, but the beach can get off to Southampton, and that one has already made its way out from the maintenance area, just sneaking out there a minute or so ago. That 777 is now turning on to final approach. Flight time in from Delhi, 9 hours and 12 minutes by the time it reaches us. Let's have a quick look over there on the DHL apron then. Right in front of us, the 767 and the 757 just to the right of the screen. It's a very empty cargo apron over there. Bit of a different picture to what it was on Tuesday evening, but a bit more aircraft over on the main passenger apron this evening. So good mix of both ends of the airfield this week. That Beach King off to Southampton and lining up on runway 27. This one entering into operation in 2014, making that aircraft 11.5 years old. April 2014 that one took its first flight. Hopefully making its way out safely from East Midlands this evening. And there it is indeed in the distance. 300 feet there as it continues to climb away from us. Right, let's have a look for that next inbound there, and the 777 in from Delhi. Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Lima, the registration on the 777 once again. September 2019 this one first entered into operation. Bit of wind hitting us there, taking the doorway there. Apologies for that bit of shaking there. Control tower having different ideas this evening. A bit of cool air in anyway, it's quite warm in here at the minute. Just over 21 degrees then is the temperature outside this evening. A lot warmer than where we were on Tuesday evening. 4 aircraft over there on the main apron this evening. Chewy arriving just a short while ago, and the Lauda A320 should be making its way back out at about 5:30. Jet 2 still pinging away. No movement on that 737 just yet, but the 777 is overhead Kegworth, making its way down through 900 feet now. The 777 then touching down on runway 27. Should be making its way down to us. Just a couple of seconds. Definitely hear it as it continues its rollout there. There it is, just on the top image there, rolling right past us. 9 hours and 15 minutes this evening, and for the 777 making its way in from Delhi. Getting just a little behind the 767, may just missed that one turning in. Very slight glimmer of the aircraft there as it taxis away. Let's see if we can change that image just a little. A bit more detail as it vacates runway 27. Ryanair in from Rhodes, the next aircraft to arrive in with us, sorry, and then the Ryanair in from Bratislava, just a few minutes behind that. 20 minutes or so before that Ryanair in from Bratislava arrives in with us this evening. And 777 continuing to taxi down towards its stand then as it makes its way onto the taxiway there. To everybody in the chat as well. Good to have you with us. So it's just part of the departing overhead. Right off into that sunlight. The 777 disappearing then. Just out of view this evening. And that Ryanair in from Rhodes about 5 minutes out, just northeast of Leicester. 208 knots, the current speed of that 737. Echo India Hotel Alpha X-Ray, here's its registration. Our flight time about 4 hours and 10 minutes as it makes its way over from Rhodes. It's Ryanair here from Breslau, less than 20 minutes out then, already starting its initial descent in towards us. About 18,000 feet, the current altitude of that 737, and the Ryanair in from Rome at 38,000 feet. That one is just about to leave France. Another 40 minutes or so before that 737 arrives in with us. Seven just making its way onto its stand. Let's see if we can bring that aircraft over in the distance as we wait for the next arrival to make its way in. There you go, a bit of a different view over there of the cargo apron. The Ryanair turning on to final now. Let's see if we can. There we go, bring you views of both aprons, the cargo and main passenger apron, in front of us this evening. Ryanair making its way down through 2,800 feet, and the Jet 2 off to Mahon. Looks like that one has finally started to push off of stand. Let's see if we can pick up that one in the distance. There it is, just the rear of the aircraft as it points over towards the east. Get a bit more power in before that starts to drain off. With the registration of the Jet 2 there, and that jet2.com livery, Golf Juliet Zulu Hotel 737 800, 25 years of age. And Ryanair making its way down towards Kegworth now, passing through 1,200 feet. Ryanair in from Wrocław. 11,000 feet on the aircraft, but the next arriving one in from Rhodes with a flight time of 4 hours and 11 minutes. Just about to touch down here in the distance. Oops, that's their camera having a few different ideas there. Still a very windy evening out there. Bit of rain as well, making its way down towards us now. Crew just moving into place on the 777 in from Delhi, and that Ryanair touching down in the distance. Jet 2 off to Mahon on its way down to the start of runway 27. Should be becoming visible just a few seconds, and continuing to make its way down 27. Looks like it's just about to vacate now. There it is, on cue. 4 hours and 13 minutes in from Rhodes this evening, and the next arrival isn't too far away, about 8 minutes time. The Ryanair in from Bratislava will be landing in with us. Jet 2 off to Man, continuing its taxi down to the start runway 27. That will be the next departing aircraft this evening. Just disappearing out of view. Let's have a quick look over on the cargo apron then in the distance. 767 there, and the 777 as well. And the Ryanair in from Rhodes continuing its taxi towards its stern. Both aprons there in view now. It's like the upper cargo door opening on the 777. Green crew moving in place, ready to start offloading the aircraft. And the Jet 2 off to Mahon, finally making its way down to the start of 27. Initiating its takeoff roll, making its way down towards us now. The Jet 2 up to Mahon. There it is, departing into all the weather in front of it this evening. Cloud moving in rather quickly, 850 feet as it continues to climb away. See how well it does at dodging that cloud. making its way over the top of that cloud there. Rain just affecting the autofocus on the camera as it starts to make its way down towards us. There it is, the J2 making its way out 2,300 feet as it continues to climb away from East Midlands. A bit of rain just hitting the window there, unfortunately. Ryanair in from Wrocław then, about 4 minutes out. Thank you very much for being with us there, as it's been the past couple of weeks, trying to make the most of it as best we can. Clearing up a little bit to the south then, bit of blue sky peeking through, but not that bad weather, making its way over towards the east in the distance. Very bad evening so far though, quite warm where we are for the time being. The Ryanair in from Rome, making its way up towards London now, just making its way over the south coast. Arriving with us in about 25 minutes time. Echo India Hotel Mike Whiskey. The registration on that inbound 26,000 feet. The registration on that 737 MAX. That one a 3-year-old airframe. And the Ryanair in from Wrocław on final approach now, 2,600 feet as it continues to descend towards us. Triple 7 the first of that cargo making its way from the rear of the aircraft. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you with us. So a little bit of a different stream than usual. Very similar setup to last Thursday. Unfortunately, weather driving right towards us, so not very pleasant at all for being outside. Right now then, passing through 1,400 feet. And the Lauda due out at 5:30, so hopefully we should be seeing some movement from the A320 in the next 10 minutes or so. The Ryanair off to Berlin at 6:15 and the TUI to Heraklion just before 7 PM. About 20 to 7 that one is scheduled to depart East Midlands, and the 777 off to Leipzig just before 7 PM. a delayed 767 in from New York. Just after 20 past 6 this evening. That one is estimated to arrive in with us. For the Ryanair touching down on runway 27. Just about to touch down here in the next few seconds. Flight time on that one then this evening, 2 hours and 3 minutes. As it makes its way down towards us. Keep on the 777 just for the time being as the first of that cargo begins to emerge from the upper deck of the 777. And that 737 MAX getting closer and closer to us. Clear those reverse thrusters in the distance. This one should vacate in the next few seconds. Just beginning to turn. That one should be popping on the screen. There it is. Echo India, India, Lima Foxtrot, the registration on the 737 MAX in front of us then. This one very new into the Ryanair fleet, Irish registered as well. July of this year, so just a few months old. Making an appearance into East Midlands this evening. The Ryanair in from Rome then is about 25 minutes out. And it looks like the Ryanair heading off to the remote stands this evening. Yes, indeed, making its way over to the stands in the distance. Pulling on to stand 41 over there. Not the very end stand, but still a good view over there. So look at the rear of the 777 then. Turn a little bit further around on that camera, bring it back into view. There we go. See if we can get a closer look at the Ryanair there in the distance. Just shutting down those engines. Passengers very eager to make their way off the aircraft this evening. Buses there ready to move in, it looks like. A bit of a walk across the apron over towards the arrivals terminal. Ground crew moving into place there, ready to start offloading the bags from the inbound in front of us there. So very windy this evening. That camera taking a bit of a bounce there as that wind hits right on the air traffic control tower from where we're streaming this evening. Passengers already making their way out towards the aircraft. Bit of a wait there in the windy weather this evening here at East Midlands. For those passengers then in the distance. And the Beach King there landing in, sneaking past us on the screen. Mike Lima Echo November Romeo, the registration on that aircraft. And the Ryanair in from Rome, about 20 minutes out now. Hopefully get a good view of that one as well as it vacates. With a good close-up look at the Ryanair 737 in from Wrocław. Thank you very much for joining us there this evening from East Midlands. Bit of a different stream to what we usually, or how we usually operate from here at East Midlands. Making use of the shelter available to us. Managing to stay warm this evening. Tuesday evening was very cold indeed, especially when you stood up there for a good 4 or 5 hours, an hour or so, setting everything up before the stream. And then a good 25-30 minutes packing everything away as well. Definitely takes its toll. So taking some shelter in the old air traffic control tower here at the Aeropark this evening. Everything set up. Hopefully getting the best views that we can given the weather. It's not too bad outside at the minute. Nice and dry. Bit of rain threatening to make its way down towards us. A lot of grey cloud out there in the distance, especially towards the south. Still making its way across the airfield, hopefully avoiding the most of the bad weather this evening. Still temperature nice and warm. If it wasn't for the wind, I'm sure it would feel a little warmer as well. About 21 degrees is the current temperature here at East Midlands, just before 5:30 PM this evening, as passengers continue to make their way from that 737 in the distance. And it looks like those next passengers waiting to board. Maybe the same aircraft, not sure what is in the distance over there, just out of frame. Very cold and windy indeed. Stood out over on the apron this evening, waiting to get on that aircraft. Good to see everybody in the chat this evening. Hope you're all keeping well. Thank you to everybody who's recently subscribed to the channel as well. We're well on our way to our next goal of 5,000 subscribers, so thank you indeed to everybody who's helped us on that journey so far. Have a look at the schedules over the next few weeks as well. This evening traffic here at East Midlands is definitely thinning out now. Those summer schedules have ended. Cargo traffic not too busy either over there at this time of an evening. Gradually building up though over the next few weeks as it does get a little bit darker and a little bit colder. We'll have a look at those schedules, see how we can tailor them around the traffic down here at East Midlands. It's always a little bit difficult this time of year as the summer schedules start to fade out. Some 747s we've not seen for a week or so either. A lot of those over in the Middle East at the minute. One 747 is on its way in this evening. I think that one is making its way. Where is that one making its way over from? Not an origin airport. We've seen it before. Shymkent, just north of Tashkent. So it's like right on the border of Uzbekistan. Yeah, a bit of a different routing for the 747 this evening as it makes its way towards us. Another 3 hours and 50 minutes though for that one. Golf Oscar November Echo Foxtrot, the registration on the 747. Looks like that one is just north of Turkey now. Still quite some distance to travel. But the next aircraft to arrive in with us is the Ryanair from Rome, 737 MAX Echo India Hotel Mike Whiskey. The registration on that aircraft just passing down through 16,000 feet, 3 years of age on the airframe. March 2022, this one first entered into operation with Ryanair. As passengers in the distance and continuing to disembark, definitely looks like those passengers standing over there just in the on the walkway holding area there, waiting to make their way on board. The bus is there in place, ready to take those passengers over towards the main arrival terminal. In the distance, the crew just having a look out. Bit of fresh air before continuing on this evening, I think. First bus moving away then, and those next passengers waiting to make their way on board. Presumably there's the aircraft in front of us, due in the distance there, off to Heraklion a little later this evening at 20 to 7. That one is estimated to depart East Midlands. Lauda A320 starting on stand. That's a little out of frame. We'll stay with the Ryanair as that one is just about board, I believe. In the next few minutes anyway. That bus just needs to move out of the way. Let the crew on board do their final checks before allowing those next passengers on. Turning very cold indeed, very quickly. Still above 21 degrees outside, but that wind taking a lot of that heat away. Camera taking a lot of bouncing around as well this evening. That wind buffeting the air traffic control tower. A lot of words to get out there. You've been awake for quite a long time today. But there he goes, moving away. And those next passengers all eager to make their way on board. That forward stair there hopefully see that retract back into the aircraft once boarding completes. And a bit of rain making its way over to us now. Right on time for everybody to get drenched over there. Yeah, not very good timing on that one. Move the microphone back inside temporarily just to avoid it getting wet. So apologies for any distortion to the noise there. And move that around a bit. Moving it safely back inside just for the time being. Also rain passes by us. Right, excuse me just for 1 second. We'll leave you on the Ryanair. One of the volunteers just coming over to a quick look at what we're up to this evening, so bear with us. Alright.
Hello Tom, you alright?
Nice to see you again. How are you?
See you too, I'm fine, thanks.
Come down to your level. Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, not too bad. Taking shelter here this evening. Just a few cameras set up. One looking over the main apron there and one on the cargo apron as well, so a little bit different, but it's warm anyway, isn't it? A little bit drier as well.
It's been raining before, just stay shelter.
Yeah.
Just passing through.
Hopefully so. I've seen it last Thursday night as well. Exactly the same. A bit worse though. The rain just started to come down, so it's back up the shelter.
Is it alright to film from inside?
Yeah, so just the main camera looking over to the apron there.
Yes.
And then three cameras actually. One that does just a wide view over the runway, and then one that looks at the minute over onto the DHL Leipzig. So yeah, quite a good view of it. It's nice and warm there. The cockpit's out here. Out on Tuesday even as well. The temperature just limited. It really was cold, so
Yes.
especially in the wind as well.
It's like a bit longer than you. You're still a bit longer than you.
Yeah, I'll be here for half an hour, yeah. So
You might go back now.
no.
So the Steve's alright, right? So
Yeah, well,
doesn't look as if
well, I've got a key anyway, so don't worry. If you're around, I'll let us out, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
No worries.
We
We'll see
like
you
it.
then. Well, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully a few more people watching. It's going hard though. It's going alright. Are you alright then?
Yeah, fine, yes, thank you.
Keeping a bit warm
So
too.
life has to be very well, so I haven't been around a lot.
Okay.
So, but she's going with her sister today, and we've been going out for a few hours. So
Yeah, well.
I thought it was well, I get general open night at 9 o'clock tonight, but apparently it was cancelled, and I didn't know that.
Well, at least you stick around for a bit longer, can't you?
But yes,
Yeah.
that's light at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good lighting. It's a good lighting, so hopefully the cloud clears and sticks around for a bit longer. Well, the sun sticks around anyway. The rain can go away. Nice to see you again anyway. Well, I'll see you walking past anyway, so thanks for stopping by. You too. So thank you very much for holding on a few minutes there. Having a quick chat with one of the volunteers here out at the aeropark, taking the opportunity to get a few good photos and sheltering just from the rain there. Well, thank you very much indeed for being with us this evening. The Lauda A320 pushing back off of stand. Those passengers hopefully a little bit drier than they were a few minutes ago, making their way on board now. Apologies for the bounciness of the image this evening. As they've all been moved around a little bit by the wind. There you go, try and make that a bit more stable if we can. So hopefully a nice good close-up view of this 737 there as those passengers continue to make their way on board. Right, let's try and work out why the other camera went offline. So we got a bit more power in that unit there, so we shall disconnect, reconnect that back in. Always a challenge operating like this, multiple bits of equipment relying on various different power sources and feeds and whatnot. There we go, a view of the south of the airfield there. See a lot of that bad weather making its way past us now. Crew there on the 777 then taking a quick break. As passengers standing in the warmth of the sunlight now over there on the main apron. That Lauda A320 should be making its way down to the start of runway 27 in the next few minutes. It is indeed just out of frame in the distance. We should see that one depart out in the next 3 or 4 minutes, I should imagine. The Ryanair in from Rome, then taking a bit of a different approach into East Midlands. They're going from south east up towards northwest of Leicester. Snaking back round towards us now, just a couple of minutes before it makes its way down on final approach. Very convenient Ryanair to use the and stand over there. Quite a good view we've got of that aircraft boarding this evening, and that wind feels like it's dying down ever so slightly. So it did on Tuesday evening. It was blowing quite a gale as we were setting up, and then progressing through the stream. Probably about 20 minutes into the stream, 25 minutes, just dropped dead. It's brought a bit of warmth back. But we'll take all the aircraft we can get this evening. Tucked away here in the air traffic control tower. It's quite a good view of the 737 in front of us there. So look where the Lauda A320 is then in respect of reaching the end of runway 27. Looks like it's about there. The fly 4 off to Palma, that one is also making its way down to the start of runway 27. And the sun just starting to make its way down in the distance, casting a golden glow over everything on the main passenger apron. DHL apron, bit of a different story, very gloomy over there at the minute. The Lauda A320 just holding short. Looks like that one is giving way to the Ryanair, making its way on final approach now. So looks like the Ryanair will be the next aircraft on the ground here at East Midlands. And then departures, the Lauda off to Palma, followed by the Fly 4 operating on behalf of Chewy, that one off to Palma as well this evening. Last of those passengers just waiting to board on the rear of that aircraft then. Try and keep up with the Ryanair in the distance for as long as we can this evening. So given the proximity to the runway from our current position, we should have quite a good view as this one pushes back. The Ryanair arriving in then. And the Lauda, that next aircraft to make its way down towards us, just holding short on runway 27. What Ryanair that was. Like 737-800. Not the aircraft in question though, that one is still continuing its descent in towards us. So nothing pinging on the radar for that one, filtered radar. Anyway, let's have a look what that was. That was the Ryanair into Stansted this evening, in from Tenerife. Looks like that one entering in a bit of a holding pattern down there. Okay, quite a lot of traffic down at Stansted this evening. Given that Air Force One is in the vicinity, I think still on the ground. So the aircraft then arriving in with us was the Ryanair from Tenerife. That one was inbound to Stansted, but by diverting into East Midlands this evening. Maybe why we didn't have it on the radar, and more than likely why the Ryanair in from Rome was on a bit of a different approach into us. There we go then, the aircraft arriving onto stand. Not sure if those passengers will disembark or if they'll stay on board this evening. Let's try and get a little panned out if we can then, if the camera will allow us. There we go. Finally playing ball. Right, both Ryanair aircraft in front of us, that forward door there closing, and those air stairs making their way in now, being retracted underneath. The Ryanair in from Rome then, vacating from runway 27, and the Lauda lining up on runway 27. The aircraft in from Rome continuing to taxi down towards the main apron then. And the Lauda making its way down towards us. Nine Hotel Lima Mike Hotel, the registration on the A320-200. There it is, rotating quite early there. And continuing to climb away from the 27. Let's try and get that one in frame for you. There it is, just departing straight into the sun there. And initiating that left hand turn down towards the south, just about to pass right in front of the sun. (2,600 feet) then, making its way out quite quickly from East Midlands. Fly 4 out to Palma, lining up on runway 27 as well. On the radar of the aircraft there in the distance, those air stairs just moving out of the way. Should start pushing anytime soon. Doesn't look like much movement over there on the diversion in from Stansted. Interesting though if any other aircraft make their way up this evening. Probably unlikely, but there's always a chance. The Fly 4 then making its way down towards us now. Echo India Foxtrot Bravo, the registration of the Fly 4 737-800. December 2012, this one first entered into operation. And again, that one rotating quite early there as it continues to climb away. There it is, just to the top of the screen. Top of the right hand of the screen there, heading straight into the sun. Two and a half thousand feet per minute as it continues to climb away, reaching 1,800 feet, passing through 2,000 feet very quickly at 144 knots, right across the centre of the screen there in front of that sun. The Ryanair are off to Venice and the aircraft to Riga this evening. Both of those starting on stand in the distance. The outbound to Riga this evening, Echo India Hotel Alpha X-Ray, and the Ryanair off to Treviso. There's an aircraft just starting to push in the distance there. There you go, not the best pan, but a bit of a different tripod setup this evening.
Right. Just a quick one.
Yep.
I'm not getting t-shirts.
No, don't you worry. No, don't you worry, you're well out, don't you worry at all.
Do you know why the Ryanair aircraft stop where it is? Is it disembarking passengers in the buses there?
The one that just came in,
Yeah, they're just before them.
facing towards us.
It's facing towards the tower, but they've stopped just on the side there. They're disembarking the passengers there.
Okay, there's one that just got diverted in from Stansted.
Ah, I wonder if
That
that's
might
it.
be it. It's from Tenerife to Stansted, diverted up here. I think the Air Force One's due out this evening from
Oh, of
Stansted,
course,
so
yeah.
there'll be a bit of traffic down there. holding, so probably won't made its way in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know why they just stopped. I haven't seen it stop there and disembark passengers before. They're all
yeah.
milling around waiting for the coaches. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a bit.
No worries, thank you.
Okay.
There we go, wanting to get the best of his pictures this evening. He's braver than me, being up on the mount. Aircraft pushing back a little further then. Right, let's try and do the best pattern we can given the setup we've got this evening. There it is, ready to start in the distance. That stuck is still in place. Making its way down to the start of runway 27. A couple of minutes before it reaches the end of 27. The Ryanair off to Riga starting up as well. That one is still in the middle of the apron, just out of frame. Like that one is starting to make its way down to the taxiway just ahead of the 737 there, off to Treviso this evening. Bit of cargo making its way off of the 777 there in the distance, and the Ryanair a bit closer now, just catching the sunlight there as it breaks through the cloud. A lot of heat coming out of the APU there. King just departing overhead, just out of shot. Looks like the engines on the 737 there starting up. A lot of bird activity as well. Hopefully stay on that side of the fence. Echo India Lima Foxtrot, the registration on the 737 in front of us. And then next outbound to Riga, making its way down to the start of runway 27, just a minute or so before that one enters and lines up on the centre line. Nothing inbound at the minute. Cloud shrouding the airfield as well. So not very good for spotting any overheads this evening. And looks like Air Force One departing Stansted then just a few minutes ago. More than likely why the Ryanair diverted up into East Midlands this evening. That one is just passing Leighton Buzzard now. So more than likely see that Ryanair aircraft making its way back down towards Stansted at some point. Ryanair off to Riga, entering runway 27, and this service to Treviso there making its way out as well. Now we're not on our usual setup this evening, so I have to apologise for any jitteriness as we manoeuvre the cameras. There it goes. Oops, apologies. Passing by the 737-800 there, diverting in. Doesn't look like anybody is making their way from the aircraft at the minute. So maybe just a very brief stopover on the ground before making its way out again. We'll try our best this evening anyway, given the conditions outside not very favourable at all at the minute. Well, in terms of the wind anyway, the temperature dropping ever so slightly then, not by much, but the wind still gusting at about 15 knots. Take a majority of heat with it this evening. Let's have a look then at that next outbound, making its way down towards us now. Just lining up there at the end of runway 27. Echo India Hotel Alpha X-ray, the registration on the next outbound off to Riga. Let's adjust that camera in a minute, I think. too dark out there. Switch it back onto that main view and see if we can just sort that out. There we go, get a bit more light in as the aircraft rotates there. Just a little earlier. Into the sun, that one is going. Yeah, heading right into it, unfortunately. But the Ryanair heading out there off to Riga this evening. That next departure off to Treviso. Just holding out the start of 27. National 747 just passing north of the airfield. Fortunately just a little bit cloudy to see that one. But one we've managed to capture here at East Midlands, I think at the very start of the year. The next aircraft then ready to make its way down towards us. Lining up on the centre line for runway 27 Echo India India Lima Foxtrot off to Treviso. Quite a clear patch of airspace there as Air Force One continues to depart from the south. Everybody giving that one a very wide berth indeed. The Ryanair then on runway 27, making its way down towards us, just about to rotate. There it is, rotating away. Heading off straight into the sun there as it starts to gradually set in the distance. 1,500 feet as it continues to climb away at 148 knots. And just a couple of aircraft on the main apron over there. The Ryanair diverting in from Stansted and Achieve off to Kefalonia. Sorry, not Kefalonia, Heraklion, arriving in from Kefalonia I think a little earlier. But that one off to Heraklion this evening at 20 to 7. Looks like the Ryanair has been given a slot back down to Stansted. 6:25 is its slot, estimated departure time 20 to 7 this evening, so either 15 or 30 minutes wait for that aircraft. There it is in the distance. Given the filtered radar that we have, didn't quite see that one arriving in. Not very often we get to see the diversions here at East Midlands either. I think East Midlands is categorised as such for diversions. Last one we had in was the G737 in from Birmingham. That was the one which had a burst tyre. Diverting up from Birmingham. Right, to get some power in that one. Oh yeah, not very many diversions at all. I think the last diversions being the Chewy that we saw on the ground. And then a number of aircraft I think diverting up towards East Midlands after the other tyre related incident at Birmingham that closed it down for a good few hours. Bad weather passing over towards the east now. So blue skies right in front of us. Another band of weather though heading in from the west. A little bit of respite from the weather, but not much. There you go, that next band of weather making its way in, just over the top of the Nimrod there. So a little bit quiet around the airfield. Try and get a view of over on the DHL ramp if we can. See what's happening over there this evening. Right, let's get that camera set back up. 777 looking a little emptier than it was earlier. There is an aircraft outbound to Leipzig this evening. Let's have a look which one it is. It is indeed the 777 in front of us, Delta Alpha Alpha Lima Lima 777 freighter. Estimated departure from East Midlands 6:55 this evening. So in the next 40 minutes or so, that one should be making its way out. And then with that one making its way out, there should be one making its way in towards us. It is indeed about an hour and 16 minutes out then before the next 777 arrives in with us. That one arriving in from Leipzig this evening. Delta Alpha Echo Romeo Alpha is the registration on the 777 arriving in with us. That one is brand new, August 2025. That one was delivered into DHL. So look whereabouts that one has been in the world. 17th flight from point of construction. And it looks like it's the very first flight into East Midlands this evening. So there's at East Midlands this evening. Looks like this one has been operating in the Far East for the past week. 4th of September this one was delivered into Leipzig. So this new flight. So about an hour and 16 minutes before we see that one arrive into East Midlands. The one S747 still a good 3¼ hours from us this evening. That one will be arriving in the dark. Unfortunately, given our position this evening and the fading light, probably not possible to pick. The 777, we shall stick around for that. Estimated arrival time then, about 7:30 this evening. 767 in from Kennedy. He isn't too far out now. 20,000 feet is its current passing altitude. 435 knots is its current speed. Golf Delta Hotel Lima Papa, the registration on the inbound flight time this evening. About 6 hours and 20 minutes. Well, in the region of. That one is making its way just south of Warrington now, as it heads down towards Manchester Airport, and then making its way in over towards Derby, Nottingham before joining on final approach. And good evening to everybody in the chat as well. Good to have you with us. Thank you very much indeed for joining us from East Midlands this evening. Triple seven in from Leipzig then, cruising just above 40,000 feet, 428 knots. The first time that aircraft has made its way over into East Midlands. And the 767, less than 20 minutes now before that one arrives in with us. In the Mountain Bongos livery, this one will be arriving in this evening. Airframe 12 years of age. 2013, that one first entered into commercial service. So the forward door of the Ryanair diverting in from Stansted, open in the distance. Ops team passing by there. Seven 767 in from Kennedy then at 13,500 feet. quiet evening indeed from East Midlands. So the 777 in front of us there should be making its way out here in the next 30 minutes. Make its way out to Leipzig. Thank you very much indeed for joining us from the aeropark. Say a little bit quiet this evening, and now I've moved out of the summer schedule. Inevitably, a lot less aircraft on the evening streams as well. But a decent view of both aprons there, the cargo apron and the 777 in front of us, and the main passenger apron there as that Ryanair 737 from Stansted waits to make its way back out. The refuelling truck underneath the wing of the 777 there. And the weather a little different than it was earlier. The majority of that heavy cloud passing over, although there is quite a bit more cloud making its way towards us, and we'll lose a lot of that heat very quickly in the next short while. But about 20 degrees the current temperature here at East Midlands. That wind dropping ever so slightly. Just a shame about the traffic of an evening now, but still something interesting to look at as the cargo makes its way on board the 777 this evening. And it's warm and dry anyway in the air traffic control tower. Definitely makes a difference to streaming when you've got somewhere quite literally purpose built with intent. Well, for monitoring air traffic anyway. But not doing a bad job at putting up in a streaming unit. See if we can get a bit of a closer focus on the aircraft in the distance then. There we go. Bring a bit more sharpness into the image. Nanotail Quebec Echo Papa, then the registration of the 737 there in the distance. It's like the forward door open, bringing a little bit of fresh air on board. The aircraft is expected to make its way back out of East Midlands very shortly. 20 to 7 was the estimated departure time. 767 in from Kennedy, down through 6,200 feet now, just west of Nottingham. 271 knots as it continues to descend in towards us. Richard, good evening to you. The wind is definitely taking the heat away this evening then. The Vulcan of National Police Air Service making its way down on runway 27. That one making its way up from Oxford this evening. Right now off to Berlin, pushing off stand in the distance then. Not too sure if we'll get that one in frame or not. Just a little further down than this 737 there in front of us, waiting to depart back out to Stansted. We'll try our best to see if we can without the view being blocked. No, I think we'll not do ourselves any justice by pointing in that direction. It is definitely out there, starting up and just pushing off of stand. Okay, India Hotel Mike Whiskey, the registration then of the 737. View of all three cameras there this evening. Ryanair over there, bouncing around a little on that camera, and the 777 waiting to make its way out to Leipzig. Wide angle view there as well of the weather in front of us. The Vulcan Air landing in and taxiing off. The 767 in from Kennedy on final approach, passing down through 1,200 feet. shame the cloud is covering us this evening. It's like Air Force 2 is right above East Midlands. Not a chance, given the cloud right above us, unfortunately, to see that one. That's a shame. Yep, just our luck this evening. Seven 767 on final approach then. No one touching down on runway 27. The Ryanair off to Stansted, still on stand, waiting to depart out this evening. Then as it arrives in with us. We're going to vacate a little early this one. There it is, arriving in from Kennedy this evening. Flight time of 6 hours and 17 minutes. Looking like a little bit of action maybe taking place in the next few minutes. Seven 670 continuing to taxi. And the Ryanair off to Berlin at the start of runway 27. And we're just waiting to make its way onto the centre line. DHL then making its way onto stand. And that Ryanair making its way down towards us. And it goes rotating nice and early there. Off it goes into that very ominous looking sky. But good to have you with us this evening. Thank you very much indeed for joining us from East Midlands Airport. So unfortunately that cloud not bringing any benefit this evening at all. Just a few minutes ago, Air Force 2 passing overhead us here at East Midlands. Unfortunately, all you could hear is the engines as it passed overhead. A lot of heavy dense cloud just to the north of us forming. Seems a lot of that bad weather finally making it up towards the north. The lower cargo door of the 767's opening up then. And that Ryanair still sitting there on stand waiting to make its way back down to Stansted, having diverted in from Tenerife a little while ago. The weather in front of us there, not looking too bad over towards the east now. And we got a closer view of the Ryanair over there. Get everybody on board taking turns to get a bit of fresh air while I can. Wayne, good evening to you. Glad you're liking the multicam view. It's up to a nice and warm in here for the time being in the air traffic control tower, so making most of the warmth while we can instead of being outside this evening. Look at those next movements then. Triple 7 departing out to Leipzig. That one pushing back till about 7:05. And the inbound from Leipzig on its first visit into East Midlands this evening. That one is about 50 minutes out now. The RVL in from the Isle of Man, about 40 minutes out. And the 777 in from Cincinnati. That one is about 35 minutes out now. So still a bit of waiting to do before those next aircraft arriving with us. Hopefully that Ryanair should be on the move anytime soon. The TUI off to Heraklion as well, on estimated to depart at a very similar time to the Ryanair. See if there's any movement on the TUI yet. Doesn't look like it over there in the distance. That sun definitely starting to set in the distance now. They get just a little too dark in the next short while. We'll see how long we can stick it out for this evening. Become a little bit too difficult to see through the glass here in the control tower in the next short while. We're giving a go at sticking around for as long as we can though this evening. I think we'll see the 777 in from Leipzig then. That one is about 50 minutes out, landing in about 7:30 this evening. Its first visit into East Midlands. We're going to go look at that one as it arrives in. And I think with the light fading very quickly now over there, we'll call it that for the evening. So finishing probably around 7:30. A little earlier than usual, but traffic hasn't been that good to us this week. Majority of those summer schedules having come to an end, so those aircraft no longer serve in East Midlands. But still, the cargo apron filling up nicely. It's good to have you with us, and thank you very much for watching live from East Midlands Airport this evening. Live until about 7:30 with the arrival of that 777 in from Leipzig and making its first visit into East Midlands. 777 in from Cincinnati is less than 30 minutes out now, and the RVL in from the Isle of Man, that one is about 30 minutes away. Forward door of the Ryanair there still open this evening. Let's see whereabouts that one is in terms of departing. (7:10) is its revised departure time now. It was 6:25, 20 to 7 now, 7:10, so a little bit more of a wait for those passengers on board this evening, but just a short hop back down to Stansted once it does depart. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. So I'll zoom out a little bit of where we are. If you missed last week's stream, give you a bit of a view from where we are within the air park. There's the Nimrod right in front of us this evening. Oops, bring that into view. There we go, a little bit bigger on the camera, but a little bit smaller on the screen. But there's a Nimrod right in front of us overlooking the DHL apron. end of that wing, just in the top top image there. The airpark open this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. If you want any information about the airpark, have a look at the link in the stream description below. I'll take you to their website and give you all the information you need about opening times, mission prices, and the aircraft on a static display, as well as how to find them. Hopefully a bit of a unique view on the stream this evening. Coming to you live from East Midlands Airport. Grounds of the airpark, streaming live from the air traffic control tower here. So the 777 out to Leipzig. That's the aircraft right in front there. See if we can zoom in. No, it's not playing with us. Right, we'll put it on the main screen and get reset up then, rather than trying to do a one-handed zoom. There we go. That's a little bit better. Anti-collision pinging away then. Delta Alpha Lima Lima, the registration on the 777 in front of us. This one making its way out to Leipzig this evening, having arrived into East Midlands a little earlier on from Delhi. The flight time in from Delhi, 6 hours and 19 minutes. And about an hour and a half hop across to Leipzig this evening. Now the Ryanair off to Berlin, taking a very strange route from East Midlands. That one was still making its way up through 24,500 feet, but heading all the way up to Manchester and then almost turning back down on itself as it heads over to Berlin. So I think a lot of traffic down here in the south due to Air Force One departing a little earlier on. Hence why we have the Ryanair with us in from Stansted this evening. That one diverting, making its way here from Tenerife, and should be making its way back out to Stansted just a short while. Next 20 minutes or so, 7:10 was the estimated departure time for the Ryanair in front of us there. So the 737 there, just peeking out behind the Jet 2 stairs. And the 777 pushing back off of its stand. Those engines starting up in the distance, ready to make its way out this evening. There it goes, just about to disappear out of view. Bring that one back on screen if we can. There it is. So this one departing out on time. Right, and on time as it can be. So still in place then. Just moving out of the way. Should be moving under its own power then in the next minute or so. Hopefully, anyway. There it goes, lights on, ready to start taxiing. And away it goes, making its way off of the apron then, just a slight turn as it starts to make its way onto the taxiway. Catching the last of that sunlight then as it continues to make its way down towards us. The 777 off to Leipzig this evening. Next departure making its way actually off to Raklion. Sneaking out there as you're watching 777 start up. Making its way down past us now. There then turning down towards the south. That one passing through 1,200 feet. Seven making its way down towards the main apron. So we'll have a look at the progress on the Ryanair. Forward door still open. Looks like a few people still catching the bit of fresh air there. 777 should be passing by any time soon. And there it goes. We'll see that one depart out in just a few minutes' time. Hopefully you're enjoying the multicam views from the aero park this evening. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Just unfortunate with the traffic this evening. Not much around, unfortunately. Now the summer schedules have subsided. Finally starting to make a move then. That forward door just ajar. Let's check on the progress of the 777 so we can try and watch that one out. Almost at the end of runway 27, so should be a bit of noise once this one departs, and likely a very early rotation from the 777 this evening. About 30 minutes then until the arrival of that 777 in from Leipzig. And about 20 minutes on the 777 in from Cincinnati. Bit on that weather. There we go. Nimrod there just in view. Definitely looking a little bit grey out there. The clock's right there, Stephen. Not too sure what happened last time. A bit of a system error. A few bugs in the systems not talking to each other. So again, a bit of a different time on Tuesday evening stream, but it seems to have ironed itself out now. That temperature just dropping below 20 degrees then for the first time this evening. That wind dying down as well. Now the 777 is lining up on the centre line, ready to make its way down towards us. Now, probably a very early rotation from the 777 this evening. Return to Leipzig quite empty, but hopefully be able to catch it on at least one of the cameras anyway this evening. So we are static this evening, given that we're in the air traffic control tower, but it is indeed a very early rotation for the 777 there. those. 3,200 feet per minute then as it powers out of East Midlands this evening. Quickly reaching an altitude of 2,200 feet, 138 knots as it continues to climb away there in the distance. And the next arriving 777. It's less than 20 minutes out now. So the forward door on the 737 in front of us is now closed up. 7:10 was the revised departure time for that 737 back down to Stansted. No movement just yet though. Very quiet over on the DHL ramp. Bit of work continuing on that 767 in from Kennedy a little earlier on. But just 4 aircraft over there this evening. The 767 in from Kennedy, another 767 there in the centre, 757 as well. And the 767 on the very end stand. Trying to shift that camera around and get a bit of a better view if we can in the distance. There we go. So a bit of work continuing then on this 767 in front of us from Kennedy this evening. That next 777 is about 18 minutes out now, passing down through 17,000 feet. This one's 3 years of age. And that 777 arriving in from Leipzig is about 30 minutes out now, already starting its initial descent in towards East Midlands, passing down through 31,000 feet now. It was cruising at about 40,000 feet for the majority of its trip over this evening. But registration on the 777 arriving in with us from Leipzig, Delta Alpha Echo Romeo Alpha. So look at the progress on the Ryanair over there then, nothing moving just yet. Although that forward door is now closed up. to see if there are any revisions to that scheduled departure time. Still showing us 7:10. So hopefully departing now in just a few minutes time. Looks like it's definitely ready to get going anyway. (12,000 feet) then, the passing altitude of the 777 inbound from Cincinnati. Here's the rear section of the 767 there. Try and bring a little bit more of that into view if we can. There we go. Just north of Derby now then for the arriving 777, and LVL isn't too far out now either. And then 25,000 feet, the passing altitude of arriving 777 in from Leipzig.
Hello.
You alright? Yeah, it's no problem.
Just a quick one. Any particular interest coming in?
There's a brand new 777 making its way in.
Brand new 777?
Should be here in about 20 minutes time.
20 minutes?
Yeah, it's its first visit into East Midlands this evening. So I think it got delivered 4th of September. So it should be 20 minutes time, just before around 7:30 I think.
7:30?
Not too far out. That's what we're hanging on for anyway. We'll catch that one and then see where we are with that after then. But yes, it's first visit to East Midlands this evening. So should be, as long as the light holds out, should get some good photos of that one.
Yeah, I hope so. Brilliant then.
No problem.
Let's call it quits or not, but if that's worth staying for.
Hopefully so.
Yes.
Well, fingers crossed.
I hope so.
No problem. See you in a short while.
I probably will do after that. So.
That's fine. Yeah, we won't be too far behind. So yeah, no problem.
It's been good to get out for a while. So.
Yeah.
See you later. Thank you.
No problem. You too. See you later.
See you later.
Very happy man there. Getting some photos this evening. Stick around for the arrival. A380 making a bit of noise as it makes its way just east, west of us now. It was east. Now heading west. Unfortunately, due to that cloud cover this evening, can't see a thing. Oh well, two aircraft, sorry, in front of us. Get to the Nimrod there. Now 777 in from Cincinnati, just deviating its route in towards East Midlands ever so slightly, giving way to the RVL, which is making a bit of a dash for final approach. Arriving RVL and Cessna Caravan. Golf Romeo Victor Lima Yankee, the registration on the inbound Caravan from the Isle of Man. That one just disappearing off of the radar. We'll keep on this view as the aircraft should make its way down and vacate around about there where the Ryanair 737 is in view. And the 777 just south of Nottingham now, extending its approach into East Midlands. And with the traffic like this evening as well, let us know what you want to see on the channel. If anybody's got any thoughts or different areas to cover, let us know. The limitations around the airfield are so. The majority of the airfield is covered by well, some good vantage points, but again, everything is exposed to the elements and a lot of noise from various different traffic sources, the roads being the main one. But let us know. I've got some thoughts on what we could do with the channel, but good to have your input as well. If there's any other airports you'd like us to cover, any other vantage points you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments and we'll have a good think about them. The Vulcan then on runway 27, that one making its way out again. And the 777 from Cincinnati, that one is on final approach now, and the 777 making its way in from Leipzig. That one is about 19 minutes out. That'll be the final aircraft on this evening's stream, sticking around to catch the first arrival of the aircraft into East Midlands. This one delivered just a couple of weeks ago into DHL, making its first flight across into Leipzig. This is the inbound 777 from Leipzig, carrying a reused registration from a Lockheed TriStar. Quite some time since that one went. And looking at making its way out of East Midlands this evening then. Very tiny speck there at the top of the screen. Making a very sharp turn towards the north as it departs from East Midlands. Our next arrival then, just passing through 1,400 feet. So look where it is then, just passing over Cape Width, 575 feet is its passing altitude. Set up then in preparation for that one landing in. Let's back off the 767 there. The RVL just pulling in onto stand. And there we go, the 777 touching down then from Cincinnati this evening. And about 10 minutes until that next 777 arrives in with us. There's the obscure view there. And it's passing by, arriving into East Midlands this evening then after a flight time of 7 hours and 2 minutes, safely touching down on the ground. So a quick check on the Ryanair in the distance. That one is finally starting to push. 747 making its way past the 767 there. Making its way over towards its stand for the evening. There's the Ryanair pointing towards the east. And the apron coming on as well. A bit of an indication just how the market's starting to turn here at East Midlands. 777 then pulling in onto stand straight in front. And that next 777 then just east of Leicester now, about 5 minutes out, 6,500 feet as it continues its descent in towards us. Right now, looking like it's ready to move off in the distance. Quite a right view there. There we go, a little bit better. What's down the 767? The 777 not receiving any ancillary equipment just yet. And the Ryanair moving off, then finally making its way back down to Stansted this evening. Been on the ground with us for a couple of hours here at East Midlands, having diverted in a little earlier from Tenerife. A lot of traffic down towards the south, given that Air Force One departed a little earlier on this evening. Quite a few aircraft entering into a holding pattern down there. There we go, the apron all empty now. That last aircraft ready to depart out. Looking very dark around the airfield now. So look then where that 777 is. Should be just a few minutes out. No problem. Good to see you again.
See you again sometime.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. No problem. See you later. So look then where that next aircraft is. The 777 from Leipzig. That one just passing through 3,000 feet. 154 knots is its current speed. There we go. Very happy with his photos this evening. A little bit braver than me to be up on the mound though, I think. Taking the brunt of that weather. The 777 then finally arriving in with us. This is its first arrival into East Midlands this evening. Delivered just a couple of weeks ago. Well, thanks for being with us here at East Midlands again this evening. It's good to have you with us. .144 knots then as it continues descending in towards us, passing down through 2,000 feet. Flight time of just shy of an hour, 1 hour and 30 minutes. .1,700 feet now then, just heading towards Kegworth. View of both aprons there, all lit up now. A wide angle view across the airfield there, pointing down towards the south. There we go then. Passing down through 700 feet, just about to touch in with us. The 777's first visit from Leipzig. Flight time of 1 hour and 29 minutes then as it touches down in the distance. And a Ryanair just holding a little further down the taxiway. 777 finally touching down though. Engines rumbling towards us, just about to come into view then behind the trees there. And there it is. Rolling past us on its first appearance into East Midlands then, having been delivered just a couple of weeks ago DHL 777 freighter arriving in from Leipzig this evening. The new 777 one of quite a few that we've seen this year already. Arriving into East Midlands. Very shiny there as it continues to taxi a little bit further. It's like this one is going to continue down towards the end of runway 27. Let's just pan the camera around so we can keep up with it. There it goes. Finally starting that turn to vacate. Triple seven there then, and the Ryanair. Let's just check where that one is. Just about to make its way onto runway 27. We'll see that one out then, and that will be the final aircraft on this evening's stream. So thank you to everybody who's joined us this evening from East Midlands. It's been great to have you with us. Shame about the lack of traffic this evening, but still 777 there on its first appearance with us. If you like the channel, do consider subscribing. We're out here at least twice a week, streaming every week from East Midlands, from the grounds of the Air Park. And let us know what else you want to see on the channel. We're eager to get out and about now. Let's see where else we can take the channel to. So if you've got any comments or thoughts, drop them in the comment section below. It's good to have you with us. Nevertheless, tyre smoke gradually making its way inside of the traffic control tower now. Very smoky indeed. 777 though continuing to taxi. Looks like it's going to make its way onto the stands there just in front of it. And the Ryanair holding at the very end of runway 27, about to make its way on. Continuing to hold down there. Very dark around the airfield now. Wind still gusting out there, about 13 knots is the current wind speed now from us this evening. There you go, quick glimpse of the main apron as well. Right now then, the final aircraft to depart on this evening's stream, making its way to back home this evening, a little further north than they expected to be. Finally making their way out of East Midlands. Rotating nice and early. And heading straight off there, 675 feet as it climbs away past the Air Park and the Nimrod there, right in front of us this evening. So with the Ryanair safely on its way, thank you very much indeed for being with us this evening from East Midlands. Streaming a little bit shorter than we usually do, but taking advantage of the air traffic control tower here to keep nice and warm and dry and sheltered away from the cold weather this evening. So, hope you've enjoyed the content. If you have, do consider subscribing to the channel. We're out here at least twice a week streaming from East Midlands Airport. Drop us a comment if you want to recommend any more places for us to stream from. But for the time being, that's us. So I've been Tom, this has been a Life Flight Action. Thank you very much indeed for being with us this evening. If you're new to subscribing to the channel, thank you very much indeed, and to all of our return subscribers and members as well. It's great to have you with us again this evening. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. So close that one down. We shall see you on the next one. We get everything loaded up. Keep an eye out on the channel for that, and remember to turn on those notifications, give the stream a like, and hit that subscribe button if you can. Well, thank you very much. This has been Life Flight Action. I've been Tom. We'll see you on the next one.